What is up, my friends? Welcome to the final week of the multi-tier tournament here in fall 2020. It's week 9, Billy. We're down to the nitty-gritty. We're down to the last of the last, and we've got a match tonight with some serious playoff implications.
Boy, there are so many complications into this match. Not only will the effects of this match be felt throughout the second division of Tier 3 here in NA, but there are two other matches that are going to be going on that, depending on how this match goes tonight, could actually shake up the standings. Playoff lives are on the line here, and we really need to see who is going to step up to the plate and take it home. Bullscott, let us know who those other matches are.
Yeah, as we take a look at those standings, of course, tonight we have got Doragon going up against Ignition Blaze in second and third place heading into week 9. But as you can see, we have a four-way tie for second place, and only those top four can make it in. One of these 6-2 teams will not make it into the postseason. And we're going to have Bronwyn taking on Team Lemonade, as well as Aurora taking on Behu this week. So this is Ignition have a tough road ahead of them. As you know, they're playing second place team. They're gonna have to really step up here, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's no map differential between them either. They're both on 15 map points, and it's going to come down to one map point here or there. And we were looking at Skipper. Skipper put out a kind of a standings list for week 8 or going into week 9, and he had a whole bunch of different scenarios about how teams could clinch and really Ignition have to really close out here strongly. This is a rematch, by the way, of their preseason match, and they won it 3-2. So if that's anything to go off of, we might be in for a long evening here, which of course does not bother us in the least. We are hyped for this match. The other team, Aurora. Aurora is going to have some help from other teams winning and losing as well. So, you're looking at Aurora, you're looking at Brandman, you're looking at, of course, Ignition, and you're looking at a Doragon here. 4 teams, only 2 spots to secure. So 2 teams are going to be left out on the outside looking in.
Yes, indeed. And maybe 3. I think 3 of those 4s might make it, if my math is correct. But still, somebody's not going to make it to postseason. This match is going to have big implications on that. Before we get into that, I don't know if you noticed, I went on a little bit of a diet here, Billy. I lost 5 pounds of hair here recently.
Whoa! I'm bringing up the phone to take a look because I hadn't seen you yet. Holy crap! That was from the charity stream. That you promised.
Yeah.
You promised that you buzzed ahead.
We did a 24-hour charity stream benefiting Extra Life, which is a foundation that goes to Children's Miracle Network. It was an awesome stream. We raised $3,000 for the kids, and I promised to shave my head if we hit a certain incentive. And man, we smashed that incentive. So yeah. I just wanted to, I was feeling a little breezy. I wanted to brag about my recent weight loss. I was proud of myself. So anyway, moving on. Let's take a look at our maps going into tonight's series. Heading into week 9, we're going to start off on Lijiang Tower. Eichenwald, your hybrid map. Volskaya, your assault. Junkertown, the 4th escort map. And then we'll head to Oasis for that tiebreaker if necessary.
I mean, at least it's not the Triple H rundown that we had in week 8.
Man,
We
that was
got
a tongue
nice
twister.
variety here. It was a tongue twister. I could try to call it the tri-rule of maps. But it was the tri-heart of maps in Hyrule that I tried to come out with, but the tongue just didn't want to work. But I mean, I all these maps lend themselves to different compositions, and with the meta in such flux right now, that's what we really got to be zeroing in on, is how are these teams going to address the comps that are necessary to get the dub tonight? Because I mean, you could run any variation of tank lines right now. Tank mains are just feeling horrible right now. It's so hard to play the game right now. And it's filthy. The patch did go through on Thursday, though.
Yes.
So that is something that we will be elaborating on throughout the night. The biggest thing out of all that, the 5% reduction of the damage potential from the Orb of Discord from Zenyatta. That's going to make the tank's lives a little bit better. It's a little bit more in tune. Also, the speed of the orbs going out also matches his primary fire. So you're not going to be able to zip it like you used to across the map. It's going to now take the same time that a normal orb would go across and travel that path.
Which, I mean, could give a slight opportunity, you know, for a shield to get in the way or something of that nature. I mean, I don't know how much of an effect the travel time is going to have, but the 5% reduction in effectiveness, no, that's huge. That's
Yep.
now I worry it might just empower Wrecking Ball more because the Discord Orb was a big counter to the Wrecking Ball and be able to burn down the elusive hamster. But I mean, we'll see how the meta shakes up. I was watching some next early this morning, the NEXT tournament. Saw a lot of double bubble going on. We definitely saw some Wrecking Ball Diva still in the mix as well. I mean, Sigma's pretty much been siphoned out with the previous nerfs that we got a couple weeks back in that shield change. But there's still a lot of different opportunities, especially on something like Lijiang Tower, and particularly in Tier 3. Tier 3 not quite as brawl-happy as Tier 2, where it's predominantly Reinhardt and Zarya, but we still see our fair share of brawl in this meta, or in this division, rather.
I mean, Rushdown could work. Double
Sure.
Bubble could work.
Sure.
It just depends. It's very map dependent on what kind of tank line you're going to run. Also, what kind of healer core you're going to run as well. The DPS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Tracer still stays strong here, even though that mid-range fall off there, instead of it being 13 to 22, is now what is it, 15 to 20 or 10 to 20?
It's 12.
They 12 to 20. So yeah, they've adjusted that as well. So you can't get the same amount of poke farther away. They're making Tracer come a little bit closer in. I think this brings out Brigitte. I think Brigitte is going to start rearing her ugly head back into the meta, especially if you run it in conjunction with a Lucio, getting the speed, getting the CC, getting the Inspire healing up. You've got 2 AoE healers. You've got the CC with not only the flail, but the shield bash. Once rally comes up, you're armored to the god still. This is going to present many different problems to the support cores. I mean, you can run, obviously, Mercy. Mercy still in a pretty decent spot. But we'll see what these teams decide to do tonight. There's so many different options, and that might play into one team's favor or the other.
Well, and if you have a great Ana can be a big difference maker. It complements the double bubble. I mean, again, this is all speculation. But, saw a lot of Ana over the matches that I was watching last night. And it played a huge part. I mean, because it's such an important component to the Winston and keeping the Winston alive, allowing him to build up the primal that much faster, get those nano boosts in, the last second to keep the sustain going. But we'll see what these teams have in store as we get into. Are we dead even? 6-2 for Doragon, 6-2 for Ignition Blaze, both at a plus 15 coming into week 9. We're going to have Ignition with Hypnotics and Chunky starting off on tank, DJ and Dark, the DPS duo. I'm looking forward to we're going to keep our eye on this DPS duo. I've heard nothing but good things. Dark Matter, of course, a big standout last year, like really started to make a name for themselves in MTT 7. At least that's what, from my recollection, from my eye test to cast in these matches. Then we'll have Munching and Medkit. Keeping Ignition Blaze alive on the other side. You got Q and Impressions leading the charge. We'll have Caden and Hellspawner, DPS duo starting off there for Doragon. And then Jome and Chrono will be keeping the team alive and well as we head into our first map of Lijiang.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see where we go first. If they bring out Gardens first, we look at Winston, we look at Wrecking Ball. You could absolutely run the Metal Dive with that. You can bring in a Tracer as well. You could get a lot of mobility, a lot of assassinations into the environmental side. But what I'm really looking for is main tank and DPS to link up as one and really bring it to the opposition. Let's see if they can get the focus fire down. Let's see if they can coordinate their attacks coming out. Looks like we're going to get Brawl coming out, though. A little bit of a rolling thunder there going on from Doragon. So Impressions QFC or Q bring out the Rhine and the Wrecking Ball. I like this to get first touch on the point with that Wrecking Ball.
Both teams using Sam, so they're just going to arrive simultaneously through the window and immediately go toe-to-toe, wasting 0 time. Both teams running the Reaper as well. So it's going to be all about who can burn down the tanks, and it's going to be Doragon doing that first. Hypnotics is going to fall early, and Caden is going to follow up with yet another push in, clean up house, and Doragon get first control.
Hellspawner on this sim go burr, 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 and just absolutely melts everybody once you get the ramp up of that damage with the microwave beam, as we call it. Look at the ult percentages for Doragon right now. Shatter is super close online. Jome doing a wonderful job of keeping the team up with the burst healing coming out from the Moira. You're going to have a coalescence to start the defense of this point.
Coming in through White Room. Ignition looking to get things started. It's going to be a nice flashbang as Dark Matter's made the switch over to the Cowboy. It stunned him up and allowed for a really quick kill onto Q. See Chrono on the outside trying to look for a boop as the Coalescence comes out from the inside, and Angry Mudkip taking 2 down with that Coalescence, including said Lucio. And Ignition have moved right back in, and they're going to plant this flag on the point, but not before Doragon got a little over 40%.
Yeah, Angie got Angie with the Coalescence and burning down 2 and taking a 3rd name to their belt. Still a little bit of work going on here. Contest coming from the Wrecking Ball. They're just building up that percentage, waiting for more reinforcements to come in. I like this play. Don't know how long he can last, but still, you've gained an extra 14% of progress, so that is not a bad amount of stall there, and he's going to be able to get back into the fight just fine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that might as well just bought them a whole other fight that Ignition has to win. Beautiful stall. I mean, Gardens is probably the most stalliest of all of the maps, all of the rounds in Overwatch. We're going to get the high noon to start thing off from Dark Matter. That finds 2 right out of the gate. Taking down Spawner and Chrono. Spawner had made the swap over to the Cowboy themselves, but are finding themselves basically neck and neck in ult economy at this point, Billy, after that great high noon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm looking for, Munchie Carrot to maybe, withstand the Shatter or the Death Blossom with that beautiful sound barrier that he's holding in hand. Hypnotics, not to be outdone. You have both ultimates online. Here we go, into the fight.
Beautiful Shatter with the Coalescence to back it up. And already 2 quick kills under Ignition's belt, followed up with a 3rd. As Mudkip comes out with yet another Coalescence. This Moira is building up this ultimate so quick. And Ignition striking first and striking hard.
God, I mean, they only invested the 2 ultimates into that. So, I mean, you still got the sound barrier. You still got grab to stall the progress coming in. You could go with the tornado warning into that grab, and that would be an absolutely filthy working grab there.
Well, there's the grab. Here comes the Death Blossom, but the sound barrier is there. That was back-to-back Reaper ultimates, and Caden emerges with the kills. 3 of them, as a matter of fact, as Doragon tries to push onto the point and see what they can claim. That's 4 kills under Caden's belt, and they're going to get the flip right back over. No big stall, 83 to 60 on the board.
Yeah, but it cost him 4 ultimates, Volskog. So very expensive fight for them, but you do have Deadeye online coming from Hellspawner. You're going to have dueling Deadeyes. Let's see who wins the showdown at the OK Corral here in Lijiang. Coming up next, Hypnotics probably has that online.
It's going to be Dark Matter pulling the trigger first and finds Hellspawner with it. Follows up the great kill onto Chrono as well. Little flash fan to take Q out of the fight. And Dark Matter has half of the team already dead. The rest getting cleaned up now. Ignition going to flip this thing over. Small opportunity to come back, but Doragon's going to have to be quick.
This is going to be last fight territory as we see them across 92%, 89% and counting. You've got the Shatter. Maybe you'll be able to get landed and just stop the progress coming in.
Oh, beautiful play as DJ goes in aggressive. Finds a good early pick. A little help from their team. It's already half a Dragon off the playing field. Impressions is going to fall as well. With the overtime wick starting to burn, Ignition's in prime spot to take this opening round.
Absolutely, and Hellspawner's not even going to be able to drop that Deadeye after just getting decimated on the entrance into Garden there. So that's a 1-0 lead to Ignition there. Nice coordinated play there. Looking at Dark Matter, Dark Matter is somebody that I remember from playing with in Tier 1. So watching this young man grow through the ranks, go to Tier 2, now in Tier 3, and absolutely popping off here, it's making me feel older than I am. But it's also just a wonderful thing to see, watching players get better, learn the game better, learn this team play style so much better. It's a beautiful thing to see. I'm so happy to see it. And we'll see what they do here on Night Market.
Doesn't look like a whole lot of change in composition. We're still getting the Lucio Moira to back up the Brawl comp with the Sim strats to start things off, get the teams in the window and onto the point quickly. So who can get those Reaper shotguns down first? It's going to be Ignition landing on the ground first, as DJ draws first blood. Now their attention to the back, take Caden out of the fight, and it's a quick +3 for Ignition on this objective. Make that a +4, and they'll grab first control.
My goodness, the DPS for Ignition there just absolutely decimating
Yeah.
Doragon's. Just any kind of address coming in from there. Caden just didn't stand a chance against what DJ was bringing to the table. And then Dark Matter started getting that microwave beam ramped up and just melting the shielding and melting Q and sent him back to spawn.
Coming back in, Caden's going to swap over to the Pharah, take to the skies. Not a bad move, not a whole lot to deal with the Pharah. No hit scans really on the board for Ignition, but they're going to find first blood. They're going to, at least in this engagement, and keep Doragon contained inside the choke, putting up a chokehold at the moment.
Like the Fire Switch, though. I really do, because they don't have a hit scan to deal with it, and, you know, you got that spam rocket damage coming in. Not anything that they can really do with it. Coalescence behind the tiered up microwave beam, they're just putting so much work in.
Whoa!
Whoa!
From downtown, Hypnotics lands the pin right into a Pharah. That's not something you see every day, Billy, and that's going to be a prompt reset for Doragon.
Yodeling. That was a yodeling pin if I ever saw one. We were talking about a player last week that just kept pinning and charging from way out of nowhere. And boy, did they just take care of it right there.
Made that shatter thrown down from Hypnotics, but Dark Matter is the one who's going to fall. Dragon's tossed in, grabs two after the flurry of Storm Arrows coming in from Hell Spawner. And it finally looks like the Dragon have gotten their feet underneath them on Night Market. They're going to push in. Carrot does send Q into the streets below and drops a sound barrier, trying to buy as much time as possible, but it's eventually going to get whittled down, and Parisian's picking up a pair on the Wrecking Ball as the flip comes through.
Yep, and I mean, it wasn't that expensive for them either. I think Carrot, you know, just buying him as much time as he could there for his side. Now working up towards it again. You're going to be dealing with Barrage, you're going to be dealing with Shatter. I mean, you can shatter that and just lay him down. Also, Chrono has been playing on this Zenyatta, swapping silently in the back. He already has the Transcendence online.
They have Barrage and Mines out combined for a pair of kills, but the clapback is there. It's a +1 to Doragon on this point. 4v3 looking to be a +2. No, the res does not come off. That was a flashbang from Dark Matter to prevent the res of Jome and keep Ignition in this fight. As the reinforcements start to return, Carrot's going to land into some mines. Dark Matter's going to take down the support on the other side. Hypnotic's going in to try to follow up on this Graviton Surge. Coalescence thrown into the mix as well. They're going to pick one off of that, and Q goes down. Dark Matter follows up with a kill onto another. Both tanks out of the fight for the Dragon. And here come the clean up kills, and here comes that flip.
Yeah, I mean, that was clean. You know, keeping Chunky on that Zarya, keeping them up through the mid fight after the disengage came through, keeping that charge, absolutely helping to regain this point. Loving what I'm seeing here.
Dragons over the beginning to start things off. We're going to get the Death Blossom right in the middle. And that's going to take down Hell Spawner and put a World of Hurt down onto the tanks. Caden is sitting on one health outside and trying to throw some rockets down on the flank, but just cannot quite get enough done as the overtime wick burns down and Ignition hangs on. They will take the 1-0 lead in this important Tier 3 matchup.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty clinical. I mean, it was close back and forth between the sides. So, you know, not much between them. We always say Control is the outlier of the maps, and that was absolutely true here. Just a little bit better positioning, a little bit better ult economy as well coming out of Ignition. But, I mean, that's not to take anything away from Doragon because they were absolutely able to flip it at certain points. The flips and the swaps that came out from them, I really enjoyed seeing Chrono on that Zenyatta, built up that Transcendence in a hurry. Just too much pressure coming out from Ignition. The positioning came out at the right time. The stacking of the ultimates that came out from Ignition also helping them to secure the point. You drop Death Blossom and Deadeye at the same time, you're going to get at least one. They got two out of that, and you know, once the YOLO charge came from Q trying to take down DJ on that Reaper, there was nowhere else they could go. He took himself off the point. He ended up getting deleted out of it, and I mean, you know, it was done from there. Looking for, you know, more of the same. We're seeing a lot of brawl right now.
Yeah.
Is it going to stay the same when we go to Eichenwald? Yes, it could absolutely work on Eichenwald, but we saw the Pharah come out as well, Bullskunk, and that's going to have to be something that Ignition are going to have to really pick up on early, because you did see the value before they swapped to the hit scans. Got a lot of value out of that hero.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. And I mean, just good swaps across the board. Going to the Wrecking Ball as well as the Far, swapping it up to the Mercy and the Zen. I thought it was a good change and a really good look from from Doragon. It came in a bit late. I think if they made those swaps a little sooner, or perhaps even run out of the gate with it, we could be looking at a different story. We could be on Control Center right now. And if they start off that way on Eichenwald, it could be difficult for Ignition to deal with. We'll have to see how they adapt.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what they need to do. Is just, the swaps have to come through fast and furious. Once they recognize what kind of a setup they're going against, they need to have that counter pick ready to go. They need to have it discussed before they go into it. So we'll see what they do as far as that.
I'm not going to waste any time here. Let's get right into it. I'm anxious to start map 2, Billy. Let's head to Eichenwald.
Yep, I'm definitely ready to go to Eichenwald, and we are going to see Ignition on the defense first.
Yes, sir.
So, will we see the hit scan come out? Looks like they are flashing that to us, looking like the McCree and the Tracer. I like that. I also, this support line, though, greedy and a little bit sus. I'm not sure where the burst healing is going to come from, because you're looking at repair packs. You're hoping that Inspire gets up nice, and you keep the uptime on it. But I mean, you're looking for frags. You're not looking to sustain your team. You're looking for quick assassination kills and really just ceasing them to the heavens right now.
I mean, it's been a very popular support line as of late. The Brig does a good job of protecting the Zen. The Discord Orbs, though slightly nerfed, are still extremely powerful cooldown. But like you say, it's not a whole lot of burst healing. It's going to be all about some quick kills here, as they're going to have to deal with Caden in the sky. First and foremost, coming over the top with the Pharah, while the Brawl comp leads the charge down below, or the Brawl tanks, I should say. Moving up to that front corner, Ignition's just going to rotate back, and still looking for some early value out of this support line.
Dark Matter from, I know him from Tier 1, but Tier 2 and Tier 3, he is a very competent hit scan, so we need to watch and see how he deals with Sergeant Caden on this Pharah. Right now, doesn't have a good beat on him.
No, it was DJ trying to take him down and loses that. Chrono is going to end up taking down Dark Matter, so there's no more DPS left standing for the defense. And on their very first attack, Doragon have moved it in. And, well, they're just going to make short work of it. They're going to get this cart rolling with plenty of time in the bank.
Yeah, Storm Arrow is absolutely decimating the team as well, and they're going to have ultimates coming up online. They're going to have a window to push out of Archway with here if they need to use it. I mean, they're looking at almost 5 ultimates online. On the other side, you're coming up close. Chunk is not getting a lot of work done on the Zarya, though. Just getting bursted down. They're just avoiding it altogether. Nice shot from Dark Matter, though.
Who's going to try and drop the high noon from the high ground. He's got a couple skulls there. We'll pull the trigger, take Hellspawner out with it. You take that. But DJ falls down below. So it's looking at a 5v5. Ignition, just gets burned. What a barrage. What a great angle. Is Caden drops one of the most dangerous ults in the game at the perfect angle to stay alive, find a pair of kills, and help Dragon control the street space of Eichenwald.
Yeah, and I mean, they just invested in 1 ult. So, I mean, great ult economy to win that fight. They've absolutely destroyed the positioning coming out from Ignition right here. I mean, you're using the bubble proactively instead of reactively there. I think that you need to save that for when Hypnotics is getting a little bit more pressured.
Yeah, Hypnotics had made that swap over to the ball, dropped mines. Now Transcendence invested in. Dark Matter is going to find themselves down in the pit below. But I think it's the only casualty. Oh, I said I spoke too soon. Chunky's going to fall to some rockets from Caden. As it sounded like a res tried to come through. I think that got interrupted. Must have been by Hypnotics knocking Jome out of the LOS of the res. But in the end, it seems like Ignition are just going to kind of rest on their laurels of that win and back up a little bit.
A Discord Orb coming into full view right there. Looking at Angie on the Zenyatta, getting the solo kill himself, and then that Discord Orb burning down Jome on the Mercy.
Nice kill on the Impressions. Takes away the win condition of that Graph Dragons. As DJ's in there, just trying to put a little extra hurt down. Does land the stick and gets a double kill with it. What a play! Follows up with a nice one clip onto Chrono before Hellspawner finally takes DJ down. But your work is done, my friend. DJ winning that fight for Ignition.
You know, Munchie Carrot told me to watch out for him in this match, and yeah, I can see why, Carrot. I can see why. But you still have issues working towards this bridge now. Grab coming out from Chunky.
Dragon's up there as well, and there's nothing to defend against it. That's a very quick 4 kills. Mudkip was still about 45% away from the Transcendence, and Hypnotics went ahead and threw the mines over the point, but the damage is already there. You're already down 4 in the fight, and it's not going to have much effect. Not going to get much value out of the mines because of that killer Grab Dragon combo.
Yeah, and you look at Q also, you know, just swinging with impunity, taking care of anybody that he needs to deal with to get out this point. What was that? Matrix.
Little preemptive, you know, just trying to keep Ignition from coming out the door, but I think they'd already picked up the point anyways. Caden is going to find their second kill here with a quickness as Dragon push into the castle. Trying to land that rocket and does. Nice direct onto DJ. Barrage still at the ready.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have much to defend against this. You're going to be looking at bubbles to try and keep you up. Q is just wrecking through the back line of Ignition right now. You've got Shatter online. You've got Barrage online. Come on. This is going to be a very difficult fight. Let's see if they can get anything out of it. Angie does have Transcendence, so to stall here.
Ooh, nice bubble from Chunky. Does eventually fall, but able to absorb a good deal of that damage. High Noon from the top doesn't really seem to find much. But the Deadeye will put enough damage down so that Dark Matter can follow up with the pair of kills, looking for the Discorded Mercy, who's just gonna kind of resign themselves to that death.
Sometimes you just have to accept your death. And yeah, that was a very stoic Mercy accepting that there. Coming in the next fight, though, you're going to have Shatter. You're going to have Dragons online as well. Joey swapping off the Mercy now, bringing out the On, and that's going to present a whole host of problems for Ignition.
It will have the bubbles to cleanse some anti-nades, but still, that's only one other teammate besides the Zarya themselves. So that could definitely prove treacherous here for the defense of Ignition. So we're gonna have a little duel taking place on the side as Caden is just keeping DJ in check. Mines thrown over the point as the tanks try to push in, but the corner has been blocked. Mudkip does fall, Discord off the table, but the Zarya's in a lot of trouble and it's going to fall as well. Big charge from Q is going to put them in dangerous territory, but they are going to get the kill with a little help from their friends. Dragons over the point, blocked by Mudkip's Transcendence, but there's only 2 members of Ignition. Make that 3 left on the point, and the Pulse Bomb will even those odds. Finding a pair, what a play. DJ once again winning these fights for Ignition on that Tracer.
Oh my goodness, just beautiful positioning, beautiful stick right there, and they backed up into their own teammate. Hypnotics is just so low right now, got to get the healing up. Looks like Munchie Carrot bringing out the Moira now, so there's going to be a lot more burst healing available to the side of Ignition. I mean, Dark Matter, Deadeye almost online. Let's see if he can land another fatty.
Yeah, and Hellspawner I'd used as Dragons in the last fight, just kind of as a zoning tool, and they're 9% away from the Graviton Surge. Kind of wish they had held that. Hellspawner, well, not even going to get a chance to build up any further. Gets taken down by the Deadeye. Dark Matter once again from the high ground. And this defense is just beautifully set up. A lot of pressure from a lot of angles. DJ and Hypnotics taking all the aggro while the rest of the team puts down the hurt.
Yeah, 3 ultimates coming into this next fight, though. You've got both support ultimates, that Transcendence that could be used aggressively, but I think you hold it out for Chunky's Graviton Surge. But what I'm really looking at is the Graviton Surge coming out from Impressions. Where does he land it? Where does he go with it? Can Hellspawner do anything to help advance their team here? Because it looks like they're on a bit of a stalemate.
Hypnotics just throwing down some early damage from the high ground, looking to draw some attention, looking to build up more towards those mines. 30 seconds on the clock. Gravitic Surge coming out over the top. The Deadeye mixed with it. It's going to take Hypnotics out of the fight. The second kill for Caden in this final attack. 20 seconds on the clock. Hellspawner's going to take down DJ in the back. As Mudkip had already used that Transcendence, there's nothing left. Carrot's going to have to swap over to the Lucio to try to come stall. We're in sheer stall territory. Matter on the Doomfist already out. The mines finally do come through. Oh, but they get too far off cart to take full advantage, and they let Dragon push in with 6 seconds left. All you gotta do is stay on the cart for 6 more seconds. Get it to overtime. Come on now.
I call it, okay, that's a 4C9. I mean, the pressure coming in from Q there was pushing him off the point. I mean, he was already low in health anyways. He had to back up just a little bit. I think that if you grapple there and get on the other side of the cart, you bring it into overtime easy. But, you know, it didn't happen. So, you know, that is going to be a point of contention here when we go, should they get all 3 points here, they need to get it, you know, with a decent amount of time here, because, you know, there's going to be an extra innings affair should they do that.
Yeah, it looked like maybe just a slight mistiming of things. DJ had come in to try to contest as Hypnotics was pulling back and was looking for the boop into the mines to try to knock Q into their death. And it was just a slight mistiming of that action, and both of them were off point long enough for Q to push it in. And I saw what they were going for, but it was just a little off. And as it stands, they are gonna allow Doragon to get extra attacks if we go into extra innings.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big if, because I mean they had problems points 1 and 2. Once they got inside the hold there, you know, then they were able to really plant their feet. I mean, they took almost 4 minutes off the clock. I mean, let's put a positive spin on this. They really did get a lot of work done in that.
Mudkip going down early. Dark Matter with the Discord is in a lot of trouble as well. Discord's going to go to Hypnotics as they roll in. Bubble used to protect the ingress. There's not much of a change in comp from Ignition. They're sticking with the McCree and the Tracer. This is a pretty meta comp that we've been seeing. But Hypnotics, it just falls in a heap to Impressions, who's going to win out the hamster duel.
Yeah, I mean, Discord did not hurt there. Also getting a little bit of a damage boost from the Mercy also helps as well. What I'm concerned with is, yeah, there we go. Bringing out a different looking tank, getting the static pressure and the static Tesla cannon coming out. Lots of work going to be able to be done there. You just got to get in there and get the shield down.
Yeah, and with that, Mudkip's going to swap to the on, like I was talking about, so important in keeping this Winston alive, but he was going to find that kill anyways. It's going to make life difficult. They lose their initiation tool, and now Ignition, you're just kind of trying to hold ground and not give up too much. Munchkin Carrot does find a kill on a Chrono, but they still need to stall just a little bit to wait for Hypnotics to get back in this fight.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't camp the body, and that's just an immediate res there. Easily resed up, bringing it in. So maybe you burn them down again here in the corner. Yes, you do.
Deadeye thrown in the mix, that's going to get blocked, but the Flashbang will take Impressions out of the fight. Ignition finally starting to get some momentum. Valkyrie used to try to keep Doragon alive, but it's not going to be enough. Caden on the Soldier, throws on the Tech Visor from the high ground, but the bubbles are there. There's a Winston in your face. Caden eating a lot of damage, and here come the rest of the reinforcements to help burn him down. Now it's just a matter of cleanup for Ignition to get this cart rolling through the streets.
And that's an anti-ball, and you're just done. You're done at that point. Good work. Oh, stall tactic coming out here late. Transcendence probably going to swap off that character if I had my dithers about me.
Yeah, but I don't like that. You bought a few seconds, and you've given up a massive defensive ultimate that can be used to block this Graviton Surge coming in. And yes, Carrot is going to have to use that rally, but that rally armor is going to stick around for 30 seconds.
Yeah, we do see the swap from Chrono going over to the Baptiste now, so you're going to have Immortality Barrier to worry about. Also, good amount of burst healing from that hero as well. But DJ is still popping off. What a stick!
Oh, but blinks it into the void. That was their second kill, though. As DJ is going to give an early advantage to Ignition, who are pushed all the way back to the door. Dragons are out, but here comes the Primal Rage from the other side. He's going to take down Hellspawner. Almost got Q into the pit. Will eventually burn him down with some help from Chunky. He's going to leap back in and continue to flail those big ham-hock fists into the back line of Doragon.
But unfortunately, the point is still being contested by the Wrecking Ball, so no joy there. No free cart push. Now the push will come for them, and we see DJ hunting down a Wrecking Ball. A Brit versus the Hamster, I take the Hamster every time.
Caden is able to reclaim some space on the high ground. And indeed, Impression's doing good work. That was an important position to stall the cart as well. Because this high ground, well, Caden is taking full advantage of it. And that Tac Visor will shut down this attack from Ignition.
Boy, oh boy, as we cross under 3 minutes to go here. Looking at ultimates for Doragon, we've got Shatter online. You have the Graviton Surge available from Chunky. But what do you do with it? I mean, what are you going to pair with it? Do you try to throw the Deadeye into it? I'm not sure. Do you just let Hypnotics go in there and just let the Tesla cannon loose?
I mean, it could be a big bang. DJ is going to have this Pulse Bomb back up in no time, especially if they keep with this fantastic aiming. I mean, look at the mechanics there. DJ put the majority of 3 of those clips, follows it up there, and now is 90% to that bomb. Be a perfect combo for this Graviton Surge.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting to see that much value gotten out of the Tracer there, but DJ showing us all wrong there, letting loose with a flurry. Caden is kind of the outlier here. He has that biotic field that's been keeping his team topped up in the mid fights. A little bit of an unsung hero and just claiming this high ground as well.
Pulse Bomb does come out prior to the Graviton Surge, and now the Deadeye will be used to try to couple with the Surge, and that's going to pick up 1. But you had 3 ultimates tossed in from Ignition. They got 2 kills out of it. Still a good chance for a recontest here, but Dark Matter's going to take Chrono down. No more Immortality Field, though the Pulse Bomb had drew that out earlier. And Ignition will eventually get this point home, assuming they can deal with impressions on this Wrecking Ball. We've already seen one fantastic stall. Is that going to be enough? Hellspawn makes it back out onto the point, is immediately greeted by a Tesla Cannon and a Photon Beam of Chunky. And eventually this battering ram will batter its way into the castle.
Yeah, I mean, Amp Matrix is going to make getting around this corner a bitch. There's no other way to say it. Because he's going to be able to pour so much damage through that. I mean, you've got the Assault Rifle of the Soldier 76. You've got the Peacekeeper going through it as well. And you can throw Fire Strikes. That's a lot of damage coming through this potential window Amp Matrix.
Rally out, greeted by a high noon from the other side. Caden's able to pick up 1 as they use the Tact Visor through the Ant Matrix. That's both DPS ults and the Ant Matrix thrown out, but it will win Doragon the fight.
They also got the Immortality Barrier out as well, so that's off the table for a few seconds as well. I mean, they really went expensive into that fight, and all they have left now to stop the progression coming in is a Shatter. This is the point for them to be able to push in. Let's see what Hypnotics does with this Primal Rage. Give the man the nano, let him go nuts.
I wonder if you don't switch to a Reinhardt of your own if you're Ignition right now, but we'll see. Going to go in, does indeed receive the nano boost as the Deadeye is thrown in from the back. That's a lot of skulls there, but the Immortality Field is in the way. Hypnotic still working through the backline and eventually pick up for Chrono. Does get hit by the Shatter, as does the Zarya and the Brick. Hypnotics is going to fall with the Primal in their pocket. Buck 30 left on the clock, and Dragon are winning this fight. They're going to thwart this attack and force Ignition to reset.
I mean, they've still got 2 ultimates online. Chunky, you know, with a couple of left triggers, could get this Graviton Surge up. What you're looking for is both DPS ults, though. I'm looking for both DPS ults from Doragon to win them this first fight here, and then, you know, push it under sub 30 seconds. Chrono almost has another Amp Matrix. That is something that they have got to put into the back of their mind. They have to know that he's getting so much value out of the Baptiste right now.
What a good swap. Chrono going over to that BAP was huge and paid dividends as Hypnotics dives in the back and once again dies before they're able to pull the trigger, press the Y button, and start raging and getting angry. All courtesy of a big charge from Q. Deadeye is going to get shut down as they were a little bit out of position. DJ's able to take advantage, but Chunky just going to fall on the other end as the res comes through. 35 seconds, but still some good ults on the board for the attacking Ignition.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have 4 going into this fight. I mean, and depending on what Munching can do here, you know, maybe he can get the rally up. I mean, Angi's going to have to land a couple of serious anti-nades and just keep the healing pouring through. But you've got Tac Visor. Tac Visor, especially if you put Jobe on him and give them a little bit of that damage boost, that's going to be filthy. Put the Ant Matrix out, that's even more lethal.
Yeah, it's a deadly combo indeed. Expecting that to come out directly. Chunky's going to drop the Graviton Surge first. Deadeye is thrown in for the high ground. That's a lot of skulls on the screen. It only comes up with 1 kill. Thanks to that Immortality Field from Chrono, who's going to respond with the Ant Matrix and try to counter back. Overtime Wicked's burning, and Hypnotics finally gets to pull the trigger on this Primal Rage. Is going and looking for something, but is already less than half health. Trying to just force the members of Doragon all the way back, and is successful in doing so. Now has the Primal Rage as the sleep comes through onto the main tank. Caden's in trouble, and wow, Hypnotics just held Dragon all the way in that corner, and Ignition just escorts that cart right on in. 6 seconds 6.7 to be specific, separate these two teams.
Yeah, boy, it could have gone a lot smoother too. They really need to start addressing this immortality barrier that's coming out from Chrono. Chrono is putting them. I mean, he's leaving it out wide in the open. Why not focus down the immortality barrier, then press the Y button, then let loose with the Deadeye? You would have cleaned up that entire fight and probably gotten in with a little bit of time if you were Ignition. But, you know, as it stands, 6 seconds separates the two teams right now. And we'll see Doragon come out on the defense again. No, we'll see it flip. That's odd. I thought they were supposed to. No, yeah. Okay, so they are coming out on. Yeah. They are coming out on the defense here. I don't know what I was seeing there.
Yeah, no,
it happens.
Team with the higher time bank defends first once we get into extra.
Right.
So that's
I didn't see anybody.
Well, I mean,
my eyes.
I think we got some people in chat who aren't necessarily intimately familiar with Overwatch anyway, so it was a good point to make. You know, it just led into a good point. That's the team with the higher bank, the most time left, does start on the defense, and with that, Dragon are coming out with the Soldier and the McCree once again, positioned on this bridge.
Yeah, Caden got so much value with that Soldier last time. I think the spot healing also really was a boon to their team, but I mean, Chrono bringing out this this Baptiste again as our first engagement hits. Let's see how they get into it.
We're gonna force back Dragon right out of the gate, and rotation is met. Teams are gonna clash on the spawn. So far, no casualties on either side. Working around the outside, that was a good shield bash from Munching. It's going to prompt the Immortality field to come out, and then Munching's going to get up top and deal with it, but Q is able to get the hammer down and find that kill. Caden goes down along the way, though, so it's a 5v5 on this point. 20 seconds on the clock. This is really the only chance for Ignition as the big purple comes through. Both tanks super low. Hypnotics able to take down Impressions while DJ deals with Q, and Ignition threatening to get this 4th point on the board.
Blink your eyes is done. Munching Carrot, even though they gave their life, he absolutely flipped that point in his favor. The shield bash and the flail all working in concert with what was going on. I like this on a Brig combo that they've got going on right now. Look at Engie. Engie already has Nano. Throw it onto your Reinhardt. Let him go ham. Let us see what he can do.
DJ also has the pulse bomb ready to go, has the Mercy in their sights, goes up top, throws the pulse, it misses, but it still gets both. By misses, it lands perfectly in between the two, finds 2 kills, trying to go around back and look for more. Chrono's going to throw themselves down into the depths below as Ignition turn the first corner of Streets phase.
Are you kidding me? DJ cracked, absolutely cracked right now, and I mean, you just got to give a nice golf clap to that. But Nano's still on the board. You also have Shatter. You also have Deadeye. Do you go Electric Cowboy and just burn through everything?
It's exactly what they're going to do, but it's going to get stunned out. Hellspawn interrupts the Electric Deadeye, but pays for it with their life. Q is going to throw down the Shatter. Finds 4! Hypnotics immediately down. And Matrix out on the left side. And suddenly, Doragon are in a great spot, but they lose 3 and just as quick. Graviton Surge in. Doragon are still trying to invest in this fight. Still think they can hold it out, but to no avail. DJ Cool has other plans.
Well, let's talk about Carrot there, though. Carrot actually led into that fight on just a sliver of health and a prayer. He absolutely laid into the defending team, and he got what he needed out of it. Pulse Bomb almost online. Let's see what DJ can do. Can you take down the Soldier here?
Ooh, just narrowly missed the back half of that clip to finish off the Soldier. Deadeye coming out from the defense, Graviton Surge from the offense. Hypnotics goes down, and Caden's going to pull the trigger on that attack visor. Pulse Bomb does not land this time as DJ Cool gets taken out by Hellspawner on the back, who follows up with another kill onto Dark Matter. Impressions is able to pick up one with a hog switch, and this is going to be as far as Ignition can go. But on 60 seconds, they push all the way into the castle and have 5 points on the board. A great attack in extra innings.
We talk about DJ's tracking right now. Can we have this conversation right now? Because that was absolutely filthy, disgusting, whatever words and adjectives you want to throw in there. Dude wasn't missing. Dude wasn't missing, and he was absolutely clutching out there. I'm still giving the clutch there to Carrot. Carrot not only made sure that they were able to capture the first point, but also in that last moment where you saw the Graviton Surge come out from Doragon, dude, flailing, shield bashing, doing whatever they needed to do. The Inspire was up, the rally was up. keeping the team in through that mid fight, allowing the other people to come back, absolutely turning that last fight on the bridge on its head. Yeah, Carrot absolutely carried that last bit of the overtime innings for Ignition.
And now they're coming out with the double bubble. Mudkip sticking with the Ana. DPS lineup sticking with their picks as well.
Nope, like the double bubble here. Not going into the ride and possibly Zarya. I mean, impressions flashing the Roadhog there at the end of the overtime inning there for us. And I mean, if he stays on that, this could actually be something very detrimental to the health of all of Ignition. Oh, not this time. I know where you're going with that one, Bull Skunk.
That's a Morai special right there, as far as the camera. But yeah, it was a little late. The early Bionade trying to build some extra charge from Mudkip. Caden on the far, coming in from the outside, trying to find Mudkip, but it's DJ who is able to get the opening pick. Takes impressions down. Carrot does fall. Got in a little too close to that hammer of Q, and the res is going to come through. Doragon back at full strength while Smoke 2 Spoons. Chunky is going to take Q out of the fight as Ignition look to push in and clean out this house.
He's already got Pulse Bomb online. Has had it for about 10 seconds as well. He is absolutely clutching up here in this last amount of the overtime innings, but there's still a lot of time for them to get a couple of rotations and see what you can get. That's a direct to the face.
Yeah, Caden's going to shut that down. No Pulse Bomb here. 10 seconds. Final attack for Doragon before they can get this cart rolling. As Caden is trying to take the primary source of healing out of the battlefield, Mudkip is going to grab the pills, grab the mini, and Caden is forced to try to turn their attention. Dark Matter is going to take them down, then drop the Deadeye, takes down Impressions as well. Two brilliant plays from Dark Matter, two brilliant kills, and it might have just won it for him as he follows up with a nice headshot, then gets Impressions again. Dark Matter finds 4 to give Ignition the win on Eichenwald and the 2-0 lead in the series.
Are you kidding me right now? Holy crap, DPS of Ignition. Way to show up and say hi. That was some beautiful work. I still got to give it to Angie and Munching. Their support play absolutely enabled the DPS to let them do their job. And I know that DJ was off getting health packs and stuff like that, right? Because that's what a tracer should do. Shouldn't be demanding the resources of your healers to keep up the tank line. But still, the work that got done by both Dark Matter and DJ, oh my effing lord, that was beautiful. And I still, the antis coming in from Angie, huge. The shield bashes, the flails coming in from Munching Carrot, huge. I don't know how many times Munching got some repair packs onto their teammates, but good lord, that was some beautiful work out of Ignition. And and they got it in overtime. Like, they got their 3rd point in overtime, and they still were able to come out and just put up a blistering time. I mean, it was going to be hard work for Doragon if they had any dithers about them trying to get and match that 5 points that they had put up on the board. So huge kudos to Carrot and company there. They take a 2-0 lead here as we head into our halftime.
Yep, we'll have to see if Doragon can come back. Can they clap back? Can they start the reverse sweep? Get that 0 out of their map score column? We'll find out when we return to Volskaya here in just a couple. Ignition up 2-0 over Doragon here in our Week 9 Tier 3 matchup. A matchup that will help break up this 4-way tie for 2nd place in Division 2 of Tier 3. And it is going to be a big determining factor on who's going to move on to the postseason and who's going to be watching from afar.
And it's just been a logjam. I mean, they've really matched pace with all the other teams here in Division 2. And I'm just blown away by the competitiveness of this match. I mean, I'm looking at chat. I see some smack talk, but it's pretty healthy smack talk. They are obviously know the score of the game. They're thankfully not leaking it out there. But looking at what we saw from Ignition, they were just that little bit better there on Eichenwald. I think that the combination of Angie and Munching Carrot on the Ana and the Brigitte was absolutely lethal. It absolutely enabled their team to do what they needed to do to claim space and take the point.
Yeah, as we take a revisit, let's look once again at the standings just to remind you how important this series truly is. These two teams tied up coming into week 9, even in map differential, and trying to maintain their distance, trying to keep themselves out of that 5th place slot. Whoever loses today is really going to put their hands kind of in other people's fates. It's their destiny will no longer be controlled on their own accord. They're going to have to rely on Bronwyn and Aurora, either of which losing a match to make it into the postseason. Otherwise, whoever loses today, could be out of the playoffs.
I mean, there was a scenario what I was looking at, and it was if Ignition loses, then they have to then Aurora has to lose to Baihu for them to get in. And Baihu is second from bottom in Division 3. Aurora is up there in that logjam with everybody. And the map differential for Baihu is like -11 going into week 9. So if you're Ignition, you're hoping to pull out the dub here. 3-0 would be fantastic for their chances to go on into the postseason. But man, I mean, looking at what we saw coming out from Doragon, there was moments where they absolutely steamrolled over Ignition. I'm not thrilled about seeing this double bubble coming out a lot from Ignition. I think if they keep trying to force that, it may end up blowing up in their face.
I mean, it worked well on points A and B. They struggled a little bit with it on point C, as you can well imagine. There's just not much room for the Winston to maneuver. But when it was all said and done, I mean, Hypnotics was the one who was able to push back the defense and buy so much space for Ignition to finally push that cart home. So it's hard to give them too much slack for it. Perhaps they could have got in with a slightly better time bank. At the end of the day, they still won the map. They've still got a 2-0 lead, and they're still on a series point to close out their regular season as we head into Volskaya.
You tried running the double bubble in Volskaya, especially point A, you're going to have issues. You're going to have issues, especially if Caden brings out that Pharah again. That bubble only lasts 600 HP. So, I mean, how much are you going to actually get done?
It's 7
the bubble
now.
management
It's 7 now.
No, I'm sorry, it's 7. It's 7 now. Sorry. It's like you calling the next, the NEXT the next. Yeah, it's little difference there. Sorry. But, Volskaya, man, it could be a difference here. A little bit of a swap coming in. We see Corgi Bruh coming in on the Sombra. So Sombra being brought onto the field of battle, and I'm not hating it. What are you looking for? You're looking for taking down the ability to throw bubbles out of Chunky. You're looking to shut down DJ Cool on the Tracer. So those are two right there that I'm looking at to see what they bring out. If they keep this composition the same, Corgi could be a game changer.
Yeah, that is the only sub, but it's... Yeah, we'll see if the Sombra proves difficult as we're getting double bubble once again out of the attack of Ignition. Really no change at all. Keeping Mudkip on this Ana. I've liked the Ana play so far today.
Yeah, I mean, the Ana play has been absolutely fantastic coming in from Engi. Engi, one of my favorite personalities in the Tier 3 scene. Just a very colorful character, sometimes a little bit controversial, but we don't care about that. We love the players, faults and all.
Hypnotics is going to trade themselves for Caden, and if you're a Doragon, you take that trade. Main tank down for Ignition. It might stall things out a little bit. Corgi is able to get that kill on the high ground against DJ as well, and Ignition should probably consider a reset as the anti comes through onto Munching.
My word, that was a beautiful anti-nade coming in from Jome on the high ground. Here's Flashbang just getting into the business, and Jome, once again, putting in so much work with this. Ana already has the nano boost ready to go. Look at the variance, the discrepancies, the disparities between Engi and Jome. Just so much work being done by Jome right now.
And through Kono and Munching as well. The support line of Dragon, both of them, have been getting a lot more value, or at least a lot more ult charge, which could start snowballing here with the quickness, especially with Munching falling first in this fight. A disastrous start for Ignition, and you can see Hypnotics just kind of looming back and forth. Isn't sure whether to commit now or not.
I mean, obviously, you need to do the tactical reset. If you're Ignition right now, just bide your time. Try to take high ground as well.
Hypnotics and DJ, they're circling around up top. Hypnotic's putting a little cleave damage down through the stairwell. Onto Q, who is 98% to that Earth Shatter as we speak. Looks like Munching has made their way back around into the fight. Graviton Surge coming in down low. Dark Matter's Deadeye got interrupted, but the Pulse Bomb comes through. The Nano's not enough to keep Q alive, as there's just too many members of Ignition in his face. And they've finally broken this thing open. Nice pathing, nice patience, and Ignition will unlock point A.
Yeah, and once they took high ground, Bullskunk, that was absolutely what they needed to do. And you saw the Big Bang combo come out from Ignition, absolutely getting the huge value that it needed. And what a sleep by Angie. I mean, you know, he had Shatter in hand. He could have stopped all that aggression, but the sleep came through, and that's exactly what you want to see. 430 going into point B, but the ultimate advantage. Oof. EMP coming up soon.
Rally is going to come out first. All right, we're going to dueling rallies here. Everybody's all armored up. Hypnotics receives the Nano and goes in deep and is going to kill Jomei right out of the gate. Q's going to fall as well. Caden responds with attack vibes with the EMP over the top. They can't defend against it. This might just be the thing to bring it back. They're fighting from quite the deficit. And Caden is only able to find one with the attack visor. One tick already picked up, and Ignition have planted their flag on point B.
Yeah, they are. They are absolutely planting their flag on point B here. And I mean, they've got 2/3 of the point. Big Shatter coming up, kicking 2.
Yeah, the bubble didn't quite block DJ or protect DJ, who's going to fall. Corgi returning on the Reaper is doing work, trying to duel Azaria right now. Both of them very low, and Caden comes in, the hero that Corgi needed to stave off this attack. But Ignition do pick up 2 ticks.
Oh my word, that was some serious aggression. 70% to be exact, coming in from Ignition on their first foray onto the point. But now you don't have the rally armor. You don't have to worry about the EMP either. So now, how do you address this? How do you deal with Corgi? I would actually bring out my own either McCree, or I would bring out a Sombra to hack out the Reaper going into this. But I mean, look at the ultimates. You've got, you know, Deadeye, Graph coming in. We'll see how they work this.
Kind of feign going up to the high ground, as we're going to get the Graviton Surge from the defense to start things off. Corgi's going to go in and pick up 1, make that 2 for Corgi. They were just helpless in that Graviton Surge, and the Hellfire Shotgun's doing them dirty. Now Corgi finds the 3rd and is 82% to a Death Blossom.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting just ultimate value on this Reaper right now. The positioning, the stealthiness being shown by Corgi right now, knowing when to Shadow Step, getting some really sneaky teleports as well. I think we keep an eye on this this hero right now. XQ bringing out the Reinhardt again. You know, they brought out the Winston for the stall tactics. Got some good value out of it as well. But bringing out the Reinhardt again, getting that shield up there, letting see what we can get out of it.
Both teams bringing out the Ryan, as a matter of fact, as we get the Big Bang in the middle. Caden is going to fall. Q is kept alive by the Coalescence as the Death Blossom finds a pair. That's 3 for Corgi in that fight. And Ignition still have the man advantage, but I don't think they have enough reinforcements to take this. It's going to be close. Deadeye from the back. Dark Matter's going to get 1 with that. 81% on the board. Slam comes through. His impression is swapped over to the Hammond. Hammond quickly dealt with as the reinforcements start to come through for Doragon. Reinhardt on point. The heal orb is there, keeping them alive. And Ignition seem to be petering out on this attack.
Boy, they had the advantage. They just didn't have the persons on the point. Sound Barrier coming out for Chrono, getting everybody topped off, and that's going to be a fight win for Doragon right there. And my goodness, they have taken off 2 minutes off of this time bank. This is huge for them. I mean, you got to look and see what can you bring out here if you're Ignition to deal with Corgi, because Corgi right now is lighting up the kill feed and getting so much value on whatever hero they bring out. They bring out the Reaper again. This is gonna be huge. 60 seconds to go, Bullskunk.
How do they deal with the Reaper? Is it up to DJ? Can DJ? It's tough to one-clip a Reaper. He's got that little bit of extra health with that 250. Does have the Pulse Bomb. He's going to go for the Reinhardt with that. It actually ends up catching impressions, and the Ryan is low. Heal orb coming through, but Q still not quite topped off yet. There comes the heals from the Moira. Q's going to go turn around and drop the Shatter. Shatter finds 1, and Dark is in trouble. In fact, goes down. Now it's up to DJ to put this herd down, who managed to get the Reinhardt down to 50. There's the final blow. And the Reaper has been dealt with as well. Reinhardt gone. Reaper gone. This is Ignition's best bet. They've got to capitalize. They've got to push in. But they've got to deal with Caden on this Doomfist as well. Who's going in, is antied, but Mudkip is off the battlefield. Main source of healing gone, and this is looking more and more desperate for Ignition. As time is now sub 5 seconds. Meteor Strike used as Caden is going to get out of harm's way. Escape Hypnotic's hammer. Turn their attention onto Chunky, who's going to get taken down. Deadeye coming out from Dark Matter from the high ground is going to take Caden off the battlefield. But these odds are looking more and more insurmountable for Ignition. Munching in the back, and they're going to take Q out of the fight. There's still mines all over the place, and Impressions knocks Munching into him. Now Mudkip returns, throws the nano down. DJ is in the back, still doing work. Takes out Jome and has not given up this fight. But there are just so many reinforcements to push through. They're doing it. Dark Matter's able to get one. Chunky's able to get one. And Ignition are starting to bring this thing back. Beautiful sleep, beautiful anti, and Q falls yet again. Still have to deal with these supports, though. Chrono is stalling this thing out, Billy.
He's getting so much value. Pulse bomb up again. Are you going to get anything out of this?
Jome is down as Caden tries to punch his way back in, but falls. Pulse bomb lands on Impressions. The Wrecking Ball is gone. Ignition are dealing with these threats one by one as they come in, and they eventually get that second point on the board. Dragon made them work for it, but Ignition take it in the end.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The stall from Doragon. I mean, full kudos to Ignition for getting the second point there, because they were up against it in a worst way that you just don't want to even imagine. I mean, you saw the CCs, you saw the swaps coming from Caden Corgi. Caden Corgi actually stalling out there so long with the heroes that they brought out. Also give a big shout out to Chrono there. Hello, sir. I see you. That was some beautiful work on the Lucio there. Taking the high ground, just staying out of the LOS of most of the team. I mean, DJ had a beat on them, but still was able to just keep the defensive posturing up. Yeah, 2 points to Ignition, but boy, Ignition right now, they've got to be sweating bullets, because, I mean, they've got to have a fantastic hold here for the first point of Full Sky, because, man, they are up against it. I feel the winds of change coming about right now. Corgi coming into this game has absolutely turned this match on its head, and I don't want to hear any other condescending or contrary arguments to that fact, Bullskunk.
Yeah, Corgi put up a lot of work, particularly on the Reaper. And it took Ignition, I mean, over 4 minutes to figure out the answer. And they almost had it. I thought Chrono was going to buy enough time for the reinforcements to start pulling through. And when it was like an anime story there for Ignition, I mean, they were up against all the odds and managed to just barely sneak it through, bloodied and battered. And speaking of, Hypnotics is bloodied and battered on the battlefield right now. DJ's going to fall as Corgi continues a reign of terror, this time on the McCree. Already finding a pair of kills and giving a great player advantage to Dragon on this. Throws the headshot down on the Mudkip. It's going to roll around and try to take him out on the flank. A little bit of a duel back behind. If Mudkip could get that kill, it might be able to pull the defense back. Both players end up just retreating to their corners, but Dragon pick up point A.
Oh, they do, and I mean, look at this timing. 6:15 on the clock. Are you kidding me?
And Corgi continues to land shots.
Oh, my word. That's just absolute filth. Young man, go put your nose in the corner, because that's filthy and wrong, and you know it. I mean, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Q and Impressions right now. The pressure that's being brought to bear on Ignition right now. The CC ability of the Prile Driver. The dive ability coming in from X, bringing in the bubble, and then just assassinating people at short range. That's beautiful work. Hypnotics bring out a Diva. So we're Diva Zarya now for Ignition.
Deadeye coming out. Corgi's going to take Chunky out of the fight. Here comes the responding Deadeye. That finds two, including Jome. No res on the board for the attackers. And they invested in the defense used Rally as well, just to enable or just to ensure that they can hold on here.
Now, going into this next fight, you got Mines. You're gonna have Primal Rage. The big one, though, Bullskunk, the big one that's coming out here is gonna be Caden on this Echo. Who do you take in this duplicate?
Well, I mean, it's a tough choice. I mean, Hypnotics has swapped over to a Diva. We're looking for a double off-tank defense coming through here. You can go with the D.Va, use the self-destruct to kind of help buy some space. Or you can just get stuck. Yeah, I mean, there's that option. Res is available, though, so they're going to get that off the battlefield. Impressions with the mine over the top, and it does look like the D.Va is the choice for the duplicate as those mines come out, and Chunky's is caught between a rock and a hard place. Hypnotic receives the nano and is going to try to hang on, but there's a self-destruct over the objective. And Hypnotics, well, they're going to throw out their self-destruct just to try to get back in mech, but Corgi kills the pilot in the process. Caden is going to find one. Corgi finds another. Dark Matter taken out of their Deadeye. And Doragon are looking to put up a monstrous time right now, Billy.
Monstrous indeed, and they're not going to get a chance to get a chance at a point capture here because they were in overtime when they took that point. Big anti coming from Mudkip, but not any avail to that. So Dark Matter on these Doomfists, taking 2 out.
Yeah, and every kill is so important to this defense right now. About 58% picked up. Chunky trying to spin to win. Does get knocked out of it and will get deleted. DJ still on this Tracer. 85% to bomb. Dealing with 4 members of the Doragon on point. As the bomb ready to go. Is looking for it. Lands the stick on the Caden once again. That might have just been enough. They got to make sure and deny this res. They can't let Caden get back in this fight. Impressions is going to fall. Now pressure going through to the back line. A kill to either of these supports would absolutely seal the deal for Ignition's defense.
Corey is just...
There it is.
Yep, there it is.
This DJ is going to eventually take Corgi out of the fight. Dark Matter does invest the Meteor Strike to it. I'm not even sure you needed the Meteor Strike at this point.
Chrono taking down the carry right now for this defense. And DJ, I mean, of course, the ultimate advantage is in their favor. But, I mean, you've got Shatter. Or, I'm sorry, you've got Primal Rage. You've got Mines. Mines are going to be absolute death for DJ if they land them in the middle of this point.
Hypnotics is going to be the beneficiary of the nano boost this time. Is going to build up the rest of that Primal Rage. Q has used theirs, trying to displace, and it bought enough room for Corgi to find a pair of kills, including Mudkip. Makes that a third as Hypnotic goes down. Now drops the Deadeye just to make sure nobody else comes close. Second tick already picked up. Coalescence thrown in the mix as well. DJ is going to fall to the shot from that Deadeye, and Chunky is in a lot of trouble. Eats a flashbang. It's going to get deleted, and that's 2 minutes and 22 seconds on the board to tie up Volskaya 2-2.
God, I'm dying right now. I'm dying. That Deadeye, that last second pull from Corgi, waiting until the absolute last second to be able to pull that off. DJ had nowhere to go. He had nowhere to go, poor guy. And as you said, monstrous time bank. 222. You got time to build up ultimates. That's the big thing that we need to address right now, Bullskunk, is that they're going to have time to path. They're going to have time to position. They're going to have time to build up ultimates and really take it to Ignition. And, I mean, Corgi right now, the super sub coming in for Doragon, man, they need to shut that player down in a hurry because he is absolutely turning fights on their head. The Deadeye, the unassisted 2K before the Deadeye, absolutely turned that fight into Doragon's favor. So, I mean, if you are Ignition, you're sweating in your britches right now.
Yeah, a couple players from Doragon rocking those gladiator skin. And there's a little bit of team camaraderie going on in the point. As they're coming out with the Winston and the Wrecking Ball. It looks like the defensive Ignition go and stick with the D.Va. They're putting out Chunky on the Hammond as well. So who was on the Zarya for most of the defense. They gone to the Wrecking Ball for the stall and are going to stay with it now as Q finds two early picks. Oh my goodness, my eyes were up top and down low. Q finds both supports.
Yeah, it's done. It's done. I mean, unless they have some kind of a res coming through, which they don't even have the Mercy on the field. I mean, Q will probably go down. Nope. Yeah, he goes down. Corgi again!
Yeah, Corgi's able to find a pair right here as it's just clean up. This is it.
Corgi!
This is going to be the start of it. Doragon, I've just got to whittle down these last couple members. There goes DJ with a quick straight to the face. That's a straight to the face. For, you know, just some puns going on there. But, I mean, you just got to take care of these supports, and that's going to do it. That was a beautiful play by Q to open up that fight. Found both healers right out of the gate.
What was that positioning? That's the first question I have. And you have a damage boosted Winston going into your back line and takes both of your supports out. One, call outs. Two, what was your positioning? How did you guys get caught out like that? That's the question that I'm asking right now. Munching, DM me. Love you. Mean it. But yeah, Doragon taking point A in overtime there, or in extra innings for Doragon, and that's a 1-2 deficit now for Doragon. But is this the start of a reverse sweep? That is seriously on the table right now, especially with how they did not deal with Corgi, bruh. They did not deal with them at all, and I'm kind of scared right now because Corgi, the super sub coming in right now, Bullscom, absolutely turned that composition and the picks that were made. I mean, we saw the swaps. You would go to a Doomfist and then come back to the Reaper. You know, if that wasn't working, then we would go to something else. So, I mean, the flash changes that we're seeing from that player, particularly, huge. Also, I like the fact that we saw, as I have to, Caden going on to the Echo. The pressure that was being put to bear on Ignition right there. You had Corgi on the McCree. You had the aerial threat and the sticky bomb threat and the finishing beam threat of Caden. They're gonna have to figure out something here. Sombra would be a great addition to take that player out of the sky. Looking at the supports were fine. It's just Corgi, leveled up somewhere and came into this third map of Volskaya with a fire in their eyes, and they absolutely laid into Ignition.
Yeah, we got apparently we're being informed from chat that it's Doragon. So Dora. I don't know if that's Doragon or Doragon. We looked it up. I mean,
Okay.
It's Japanese for dragon. Is what it stands for. Just for, and it's specifically to a Western style dragon. So we looked it up to try to get it right. But if it's Doragon, we can go with Doragon. We'd rather get it right here. So we appreciate the input there in chat.
Yeah, thank you, Shane.
Well, we're gonna head to Junkertown for map number 4. And I agree. Corgi making a big difference coming in that DPS role. We'll see if they choose to keep Corgi in the lineup heading into map number 4.
I mean, if you don't, then you're throwing. I mean, right now, if you don't keep Corgi in the lineup, then you're throwing. I wonder if Corgi, with the performance that we saw in the McCree, do they have a Widow in the back pocket? I follow tier 3. I look at all the tiers, right? Like, I've been around the block here in CGL for a minute. I don't remember seeing Corgi in any Widow 1v1s, but I would be very interested if Corgi does have the Widow in the back pocket. Also, I'd be interested if they have a Hanzo or an Ashe in their back pocket to see what kind of value you can get with the hit scans there. Because with the pocket, I think Corgi could be almost unstoppable because the positioning was beautiful. The pathing that they took to get their ultimates off, beautiful. The support that was being put into Corgi in those moments was absolutely beautiful as well. DJ was still carrying for Ignition. Let's not put this all into a Doragon show. Let's also mention the fact that DJ was still popping off with all that pressure being put into them. Just man, Corgi, yikes.
Yeah, I mean, it took Ignition 4 minutes to figure out how to deal with this Reaper. And Distro saying in chat that Corgi can play a mean Widow as well would be ideal heading into the long range that is Junkertown. As Doragon have, I mean, they closed the gap, Billy, and you mentioned it after the attack phase, but it feels like the winds have shifted a bit. They're no longer pointing towards Ignition, like they are now pointing due the other direction, and it feels like Doragon have the momentum right now.
I rarely look at chat during a match, right? But I'm doing it right now because Tier 3 is one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
actively
I
don't
had to
advise
sneeze.
looking at chat while you're streaming or casting.
I generally do not do it, but this is. I like a lot of the players in Tier 3. I mean, it's a comfort zone for me. I've cast a lot of Tier 3 in the 4 seasons that I've been casting for CGL, and Disro, one of our favorite friends, says that Corgi indeed does have a widow, but we don't see that right now.
It's true. I mean, they still have time to change their mind. It's the 12 seconds for Doragon to come out on the attack. On the defense, we're getting the double bubble once again. I mean, much of the same coming out of Ignition. Oh, wait.
I think you go with the... yeah, you're right. I mean, but the double bubble against a right... What?
There we go.
Okay, this could be... Oh, no. Corgi. Nope. Corgi doing the damage boosted headshots to Dark Matter. Dark Matter goes down in a heap. No res available. +1. And we see impressions going into the back bull skunk.
Yeah, coming out with the little ball hog torture. It's an interesting one, but it could be useful, especially against a Winston, as Hypnotics just got the brunt of that. Just gets hooked and deleted and sent into space and comes falling into a lifeless pile onto the streets of Junkertown.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not... Okay, so this is going to be point A cap, unless there's a massive recontest here.
There's time for contest
from
for
Ignition. There's time, but I mean, do they have the ability? That's the real question. Because look at Corgi, bro. Once again, taking down the main tank, taking your main source of protection for your team. You already have Deadeye online as well.
Yeah, Caden finds a couple of headshots. Corgi lands the fan flash right there. A beautiful hook earlier from Q in the fight, and that is indeed point A picked up for Doragon.
Yeah, both DPS ultimates online, ready to go right now. Just going to go ahead and put out the sites to see where the teams are coming from. See if you can get an early entry pick. DJ on this Widow or on this Trace right now has to be super careful of these sites out right now, because you can see where you're going into. Oh my God, Caden taking down Angie in a heap.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shot, taking Mudkip out of the fight. A large source of the healing with it. But a couple kills coming through, and it looks like Doragon are going to back up a little bit. We're going to get the Deadeye from the high ground. You can see the skull kind of flickering in the screen. Didn't quite get it, as Corgi is able to stay hidden behind the cart. Gotta watch out for DJ in the back, who's trying to drop in. He's forced to use that recall early, but it's enough time for the reinforcements, most importantly Mudkip, to show up in this fight. Munching is going to drop the rally down, but immediately falls thereafter. The newly swapped Reinhardt is able to muscle through and find not 1, but 2 kills for Hypnotics with that hammer. Make it 3.
Yeah, this is a better comp. I'm sorry. Double bubble does not work into what you were being seen from Doragon. I mean, once they came out the gate, you should have swapped your comp immediately. But they've done it, and now you've got a grab online and an anti to the mix of it.
Yep, and the pulse bomb thrown into the grab takes Corgi down. And they're just going to hold Doragon in that doorway for a moment. Rez does come through onto Corgi, and now back at a full 6-man strength. It's Doragon pushing forward. We're going to get a Sleeping Impressions nanoed on the high ground. What a dart. As Dark Matter tries to drop the Deadeye in, has 1 health, gets healed up, and does enough damage to Impressions to finish him off with the Peacekeeper. Nicely done. Hypnotics trying to push forward with the Shatter in hand. Big ante over the pack, but Hypnotics is hacked. Cannot press Y. Cannot throw down the hammer. DJ is in the back and able to find that kill onto Q, which could mean a free Earth Shatter now. I don't even know if Hypnotics is going to choose to use it. Just going to chase out.
There's no reason.
Yeah, he's just going to chase out the remaining members, but bites off a little more than he can chew there, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't keep the shield up. He didn't keep the shield up, and he didn't account for the honor that he didn't kill behind him. This is going to be free card push right now. The big change right now, I think, is Caden onto the Sombra, just taking the abilities and the cooldowns out of the hands of Ignition. But that's a big kill from Dark Matter.
Make that 2 as Corgi falls holding their ultimate as well. And 3 for Dark Matter. So no more res. You gonna get the Reinhardt too? Or are you gonna get... Oh, QB barely gets out. But it does get the 4th onto Impressions. Dark Matter's like, fine, your Reinhardt leaves. I'll kill the Zarya.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And, I mean, beautiful work from Dark Matter right there. EMP is online and behind them. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Caden just stepped out right into Hypnotic's hammer. And now caught in here. There's a pulse bomb, and that's a 2K. Oh, Shredder thrown in as well. And yeah, I was wondering about your pathing there, Doragon, because in that small room, there was just free kills available for Ignition, and they were happy to oblige.
Yeah, and Hypnotics, you know, getting a very fast shatter. Probably wasn't expected by Doragon right there. But, I mean, DJ, once again, trying to put the team on their back. We're looking at Dark Matter on the screen, putting up a fantastic performance again. There's
That's
the EMP out.
EMP at that. And Cade's able to find DJ. Now the shatter comes through. That interrupts Dark Matter's ultimate as well. The Deadeye falls to waste. Mudkip is going to try to nano Hypnotics to keep him in the fight. Hypnotics is going to pick up a pair. Corgi responds with a two-man dead on their own. Finds both tanks with that. And Q gets rezzed to help just keep this cart rolling through point B.
Oh no, Angie and company are just trapped in a small room with a very angry German giant with a hammer, and they all go down in a heap. That's going to be point B right here. There's going to be a little bit of disconnect here coming from the side of Ignition. I mean, they don't have anything to go into it. Oh my word.
Oh, and Corgi is going to make sure of that. Finds both DPS, and that's 2 points on the board. A little under 2:30 on the clock, though, and this point C can be very difficult. Oh my goodness, Jome!
Can we talk about Jome on this Mercy right now? Most of all, getting crazy reses. Also, the damage boosts. Also, pulling out the Glock and killing people at random.
And 2 quick kills on the board, speaking of killing people at random. It's exactly what Doragon had to do. Like, they've got to maintain control of the majority of this map in order to ensure they can push this thing all the way home.
Yeah, and I mean, early from Carrot right there, I think you hold it for just a few more seconds just to make sure you have the staying power. Block Shatter.
Yep, and the other one is not. As Q's makes it through, the nano boost is going to enable him to take down Hypnotics. Rez comes in, and Corgi's going to drop the Deadeye, finding a pair in the Graviton Surge. And that is Doragon winning yet again another fight. They have really found their footing here on the back end of Junkertown.
It costs them 4 ultimates, though. But, I mean, the push here at the end of point C, this is where you have to be worried about. We need to worry about the anti and the sleep coming in from Chrono on this Ondo. That's a huge EMP!
Deadeye on the other side. It hits nothing but the shield of Q. That shatter from Hypnotics is much better. Finds at least a couple. And Q is out of the fight. 60 seconds on the clock. Corgi's going to win the duel of the Cowboys. And Impressions is going to take Hypnotics down. So still a +1 as the res comes through on the Q. That's Doragon back at full strength. Main tank back in the battle. And Impressions is going to pick up a kill. Corgi's going to get one. Impression finds another.
Oh, this is last minute territory right here. For the side of Ignition, that's it. That's going to be it and done and dusted. I mean, 32 seconds. Not a bad time, Bull Sky. I mean, it could have been bigger. We've seen bigger times happen in Tier 3 and Tier 4. But, you know, that puts the pressure onto Ignition, who probably are feeling the pressure from Volskaya right now. And Corgi, bruh, once again, is putting the team on their back. They are putting in so much work on the heroes that they bring out. I got to give a lot of credit to Caden once again, though. The manual hacks that are coming out from that hero. Just huge. The EMPs were even bigger. So, you know, they're going to have to worry about a Sombra possibly once again as we see the throne with some splatter on it.
You know, Junkertown's a messy place.
Ew? Is that Roadhog snot?
I don't know about all that.
Did he blow his nose on the throne? It's gross.
Or the mic. One of the two. I don't know. What I do know is we've got Ignition coming onto the attack, and, well, they're going to be running into a bit of a brawl comp from Doragon.
Jome bringing out the Mercy once again. Jome put a pretty darn good performance on the Mercy in that last map. Getting some very providential reses off when they shouldn't really have gotten them off. So big ups to the Mercy player from Doragon. And we'll see what they bring out here. I mean, impressions on the Zarya. I like the pick they brought out last time.
I thought Hypnotics was going to roll straight up there. It's one of my favorite rollouts with the Wrecking Ball. You swing around the silo, and then you can go straight across right here. Oh, get slept! Chrono wise to the ways, and here comes the Flashbang, the ante, and Hypnotics is down and out. Back to spawn you go. And that is going to allow the defense to focus all their attention front and center. DJ eating a lot of damage on the side. Caden just, well, is able to get that manual hack. And the health pack is not usable either. So DJ is forced to back all the way out of there.
Yeah, I mean, some are different now. I mean, just the manual hacks that are coming in onto this hero. I mean, DJ isn't allowed to play the game right now.
Well, they wisely just avoid the summer, and they're coming in able to grab one inside that middle house, and then follow up and get Corgi as well. Hypnotic holding down the back line as the card is slowly inching its way towards the back of point A.
See, but there's a bubble management issue right there. Why do you throw the bubble onto the Zarya or onto the ball right there when there was nothing really being brought into the bear?
Nano boost onto Q as they throw down the shatter. Deadeye is going to come out from Dark Matter all the way in the back. And yep, that's a Red Skull over Q. Goodbye. Follows it up and is able to get impressions as well. Dark Matter maintains a safe distance and enables Ignition to pick up point A.
Yeah, I mean, a minute less than what we saw coming from Doragon right there. But, I mean, you know, the damage has been done. Deadeye and EMP, a very lethal combo, is online for Doragon here. Also, the Grav not too far behind.
Let's see if they choose to wait for the grab. Coming in over the back. There goes the EMP. Here comes the Deadeye from up high, and that's going to take Mudkip down immediately. Both supports gone. And that's just a reset right there. Like, you've got no healers. You can't stick around in this fight. Chunky is going to fall on the exit, as is Dark Matter, both at the hands of Q.
Yeah, beautiful play there from Caden and Corgi, just in concert. They knew what they wanted to do there. I'm surprised they didn't catch more. You know, nice amount of kiting away from the skulls for Ignition. It could have been a lot worse, but the follow-up was there. So fight win for Doragon there. Now we need to see what do they do with the mines and the grav. You know, try and grab them up and pull them into a filthy situation.
It's going to be the Graviton Surge from the defense coming out first, and Q just goes swinging into it. Doesn't care that they're purple. It's just going to walk in and grab 3 kills with a little help from Caden. And now Ignition, well, they're kind of caught in this hallway. They went ahead and threw the mines out over the point, but I don't think it's going to be enough to bring back this fight, Billy.
Oh, I mean, they're caught in between a wall and a hard place here. And, I mean, they put the pit boss into the boots, putting the nano onto Munching.
Oh, but Munching needs a shatter. The Nano Mutant Q comes in from the other way. And Munching's going to fall. Beautiful Fire Strike to take Mudkip down as well. And once again, the support line of Ignition find themselves back in spawn and watching the fight from afar.
You're going to be sick off of that. Off of that pin. That was just brutal to Carrot. Sorry, buddy. You kind of got dissed there. But, you know, why are we bringing out the double off take again? Bring a Reinhardt to give Q something to look at.
Yeah, I question this as well. I mean, I suppose you'll be able to eat up some of the damage, try to close the gap on the Bastion, because that Bastion is sitting way back and causing problems. There you go. It's going to take 2 DPS ults, and they'll eventually get the Bastion out of the fight. I mean, you didn't even really need the defense matrix for that. I mean, I'm sure it helped. No doubt, obviously very strong tool against the Bastion, as Hypnotics is going to go find that kill onto Corgi. But you don't really have the frontline presence, which you're certainly going to want going into point C.
Yeah, I mean, and Corgi having this Deadeye online, yes, you want to try and eat the damage coming out of that, but still, I mean, you've got Shatter that could be available from them. Big grab coming out. Are they going to get any value out of this?
Mudkip swapping over to the Zenyatta, takes the Bastion out of the fight. The res coming through. No, Mudkip's going to find that as well with a swift boot right to the midsection of Joel May. Able to basically get 2 kills in 1 and keep them from getting Q back in the fight. But like you say, once that Shatter's online, that can basically be a free Shatter. There's no shields on the battlefield from Ignition.
I mean, only 2 bubbles. I mean, one for Zarya themselves, and then one for a player of their own choosing. But Angie, You know, 75% to the Transcendence already. Big swap from them. Let's see if they get the value out of this.
And that could be what they have to do to block the Shatter coming in. Dark Matter's able to get the kill on the Caden, who has gone on over to the Soldier, locking the legs. But you're putting a lot of pressure on Chunky, who's sitting on the high ground right now and just trying to rain down some fire. Is greeted by impressions as they battle over the fidget spinner right now. Both just kind of retreat to their respective corners.
But they've got the Discord Orb. I mean, Discord Orb, you know, like we said, 5% reduction in its efficacy, but still, it's huge. Big Transcendence coming out from him. That's big, massive work coming from them.
Yeah, but now, okay, they're going to get Q out of the fight. Corgi's able to take down Chunky and gets Dark Matter as well. Caden's able to pick up one, and this cart is halted with a little over 2 minutes left.
Diff. Right now. The tanks, I don't know what they're playing at right now, but this is not the composition to go against a Reinhardt and a Ball.
Yeah, DJ, you can see by a Fire Strike, and I mean, they got the early kill onto Q in that last fight, and so they weren't able to shatter, but now Q has that ready to go. I mean, it was the DPS ult that ended up being the big difference maker in the previous fight.
Still don't like the tank line from Ignition right now. I don't know why you go double off tank. I mean, even bring a Roadhog out for some self-sustainability.
Gonna be mines out over the high ground. Oh, they got interrupted! There are no mines on the battlefield. Great flashbang, but there it is. Nothing to block that shatter. DJ is just going to have to try to frag it out on the other end. Dark Matter's going to drop the Deadeye from the side, and that takes Q down as well. So it's this time, it's the DPS of Ignition showing up to overcome that deficit. They do lose a couple people along the way. I don't know that they'll have the reinforcements to push it all the way home, but they're close. They can see it. They can see the back of point C.
Yeah, I mean, 30 seconds right now. Big headshot from Dark Matter. That's absolutely massive. Look, working in here. Rez comes up on the Caden. Caden is 90% the air. There's attack visor coming out.
Yep, Transcendence there to block that one, but there is an anti-nade onto Hypnotics. Not going to receive that extra 300 HPS. Chunky just going to find 2 kills on the Zarya. And it might have been just enough. They're close to the Graviton Surge if they needed to close this thing out. Chrono is going to fall. They got the ball spinning to win, but they're discorded. They're shield bashed. They're in pieces and tatters across the point. And Ignition get it home. But they have a slightly less, 2 seconds left on the clock than their opponents.
Yeah, good work from them. I mean, running the double off tank, very risky. I mean, D.Va ate a lot of the damage there. I'm still not a fan of it, I have to admit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, more traditionally, you know, you'd see a Reinhardt kind of come face to face with the Rein.
I would have even taken the Winston there. But, you know, as it stands, 2 seconds separate these two teams. And, you know, we have a 300ths of a difference in the meters traveled. That's always so weird. You expect it to be exactly even. But, you know, I mean, a minute each. You know, you're basically going for what you can get out of this. Looking at the defense right now, Caden bringing out the Torbjorn. So that's going to deal with DJ on the Tracer. Immediate counter right out the bank. Mirroring the McCree's right now. I like it.
Yeah.
But looking at the tanks, why the double off tank again?
Caden says, I've had enough of DJ and this Tracer. I've had enough of your shenanigans. Here's a turret with auto aim to point you out, to keep the healers alive, keep Chrono in this fight. And he's going to go throw the turret on this back angle to protect the off angle. As DJ is sticking with that Tracer we've seen them on all night long.
Yeah, I mean, and really avoiding the LOS of the turret right now. He knows exactly where it's at. There's the recall out early, though.
Oh. And then just kind of runs right into a bulk of damage. Got a little too close. You don't have to get that close, DJ. I mean, like, you know, you had a fantastic Tracer all day. I won't question your methods. I know you were looking for that melee, but Jorge was able to find the one onto you first. Get that kill, and then without that flank to worry about, Doragon can put the bulk of their fire straight down Main Street.
I mean, Corey right now just pouring in the damage. DJ pulling out the Hanzo now. So try to get some shield damage going into that. I mean, the trades are coming through right now.
Corgi fights
is
too.
just popping off right now.
Molten Core thrown back, and Mudkip's going to go down. Molten Core fights too. Caden gets a hammer kill. Oh, no. You hate to see it or you love to see it. It kind of depends on which side of the fence you're on. But Doragon, they love to see that big hole. They didn't give up hardly any space on that cart.
Tank diff. Tank diff. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there. Tank difference. You can't run Diva and Zarya into a Reinhardt and hope to win that battle. I'm sorry, you can't do it because the bubbles are on cooldown. You can't stay up long enough in the middle of that fight. DJ, trying to do the hero's work there, but just not enough coming out from the DPS there to give any kind of a problem to Doragon. So, yeah, we need to look at what they're going to bring out here. Yep, I mean, they're bringing Ryan Zarya. Much better composition for this defense. I mean, there's almost 50 meters here, Bullskunk, that they have to defend against. Chunky, bubble management, that's key number one. DJ, bursting down the barriers. That's going to be a sure way to keep the aggression coming out from Doragon as we, look for the work coming out from this carry that's been really doing such a stellar job all night. Jome and Chrono bringing out the Jome swapping over to the Mercy.
Yeah, that res has been working well for them all night, and then damage boosting Corgi is just a good way to go. Just going up to the high ground and then he's asleep. Oh my goodness. Here's that res showing off its value already, but meanwhile on the front line, Dark Matter and Chunky are able to find a couple of kills, and Ignition are looking to close out this series with a big hold on this corner. They just got to win one more fight.
Big difference right now is the difference between Chrono and Engi. Engi only 50% towards that nano. Chrono on 96%, you're going to have a really ticked off whoever they decide to let out with this nano on.
Magic's going to XQ2. There it is! There's the Shatter! Gets two! There's the nano! And that should do it as a QXV leads the charge to victory on map number 4, tying up the series, sending us to map 5 in this tier 3 thriller.
We're going to Oasis, and boy, if Corgi Bruh stays in this match, first of all, City Center and Gardens, two areas where a McCree that loves the high ground is going to have the ultimate benefit. And then looking at Caden, if you bring out that soldier again, oh my word, this could spell disaster for Ignition Bullskunk. I mean, really, it was a tank diff in that overtime. Well, a little bit into the end of 0.3 as well. You can't run double off tanks and hope to win a fight. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. I don't care how good you are on the heroes. You and I both know the bubbles take time to regenerate on their cooldown, and the defense matrix is not on unlimited cooldown. So you have to manage those two things. I think if they would have brought out, even if they brought out the double bubble again, I thought they probably would have gotten a little bit more purchase on the payload. They could have pushed it a little bit further because they actually won the first fight. But the spawn diff, that one kill that Doragon got onto a support of Ignition, that was really what sealed the deal. And then that nano onto Q. Hello. Beautiful work coming out from the main tank of Doragon.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. Y'all go hydrate. We're going to refresh our waters, cleanse our throats, and prepare. Because map 5 is going to be a good one. We're going to return with Oasis. We'll see you on the other side of this break. We're tied up 2-2 heading into map 5, into the difference maker, into Oasis. The tiebreaker to determine who has control of their fate, who is guaranteed a spot in the postseason, and who is leaving it up to the wheel of destiny and putting it in the hands of other teams. It's Oasis is going to be the spot for this final bout. Before we get on into that, just wanted to send out some apologies there. I know we've kind of butchered your team name there, Doragon, or apologies there. And then we've got word that it's Giome is the pronunciation for the support player there. So apologies for that. We want to get it right, and so we appreciate the input and the feedback on that, and we'll do our best to come correct through here in map 5. And map 5, I'm very much looking forward to, Billy.
Well, speaking of Giome, says that they have a crush on us. So but I'm taken. No, seriously. Giome really put a stellar performance out on that Mercy. The res that we saw come through, we mentioned it in the lead up to their attack phase. When they were hovering over a different hero and they brought out that Mercy again. Absolutely a game changer for Doragon there. So when we go into Oasis now, as I alluded to before, the hit scan players of Doragon, man, they were putting up some serious work there, Bullskunk. I'm kind of worried for Ignition here.
Yeah, as we take a look at our previous 4 maps, let's see how we got here. Ignition Blaze starting off strong, coming out of the gate swinging, went up 2-0 at the half, but it's been all Doragon since, as they really got their act together, and a part of it was, a big sub coming through. They bring in Corgi, and Corgi's impact has been absolutely just resounding through these last 2 maps, and the momentum certainly shifted, and we felt it. We felt it there on Volskaya, and we were 100% spot on with that. The wind completely in the sails of Doragon right now.
Is Corgi Bruh Corgi Wargi one of the most positive people that I met in the community last MTT? If you are, please tell me in chat, and I'll look later when I actually have a chance to. But seriously, Corgi has turned this entire series on its head. And Giome, I'm going to get this right, bloody hell. Being able to pocket, being able to get the reses off that they did, absolutely huge from them. So, yeah, I'm looking. What does Ignition do to stop Corgi? Do you bring a Sombra out? Do you bring a Mei out? Do you do something unorthodox to bring it into your favor? Because something's got to change, because you are on the verge of getting reverse swept, Ignition. This is not looking good for my homies in the Ignition org. Munching, of course, one of our very good friends, one of our best friends. In fact, in this Overwatch game, not playing Homer whatsoever, but he's one of our best friends. And I hope the best for them. But it's been an entertaining series. And, I hope that we see a little bit of a compositional shift. I think that, you got to recognize that Corgi has to be the one that goes down first.
Yep, Corgi staying in the match. Apparently, that's not the same person as Corgi Wargi. It's a different gamer. And I liked the Geo Meow. I liked that. Geo Meow. I'm on board with that. We're getting Brawl once again from Doragon as we get the double bubble out with Mudkip on the Ana. DPS staying the same for Ignition as well.
Yeah, and looking at Caden bringing out this turret again. Turret goes down in heat, though. But that's going to be a problem. The Moira versus Tracer battle is going to be huge. Need to be able to protect this Tracer.
Yep, as JD on the Tracer, I'm just kidding. DJ was trying to come through on the flick, and it just shows you the respect that they're giving him for pulling out the Torbjorn. And that still does not have the desired effect. Corgi still out on the battlefield. The Mudkip with an early Transcendence onto Hypnotics is going to put Corgi's life in a great deal of danger. They are able to get a Constellation kill, but that's all Doragon will find.
Boy, that's a quick nano coming out of Mudkip as well. What? Has the point been taken yet? There we go.
Chrono able to get a late kill onto Mudkip. Could be an opportunity for a power play if they speed back in here as Corgi goes over to the Reaper.
Indeed, and we're looking for Munching Carrot right now to put a lot of work into this Brigitte. I think that you need the speed right now as my dogs go absolutely nuts in the background because my son is home. Big work coming out from Dark Matter. Does he get any value out of this?
He does! Oh my! The tanks peek around the corner at just the wrong moment. and fall victim to the two-man Deadeye coming out from Dark Matter. One in the fight here for Ignition.
Yeah, and now the other DPS ultimate is online. So, you know, claim your space. Looking at Q versus Hypnotics, I mean, you know, Shatter versus Primal Rage, they're on equal footing right now. Jome, though, I think that this right now, the Coalescence is going to win the next fight for them because they have nothing to defend against it.
Primal on the line, Coalescence out to try to keep Doragon in this fight. Hammer comes through, finds 4! Hypnotics is going to pop the Primal, and Chrono gets the double boom! Chrono sending 2 members of Ignition down into the water. They're going to take a swim in. Doragon's going to take the point.
They are, and I mean, looking at poor little DJ there on the Tracer, steps into the goo and gets burned down. 67% though for their first foray onto the point. Not a bad amount, but you're looking at Sound Barrier. You're looking at the Graviton Surge coming out from Impressions, but Angie, not to be denied right now, only 10% off of that nano boost.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to go on to Hypnotics once again. That's the play in Double Bubble. As the Graviton Surge comes out from Impressions, holding Ignition in a small room, and Mudkip goes down. Dark Matter falls as well. They invest the Pulse Bomb, and DJ just suicides onto the Pulse Bomb. I mean, I guess they'd already used their Graviton Surge, but I still think you hold on to open up the next fight. That was a bit late.
Yeah, it was a bit late. I mean, but for right now, Munching Carrot needs to get this rally online.
Okay, that makes sense.
Need to also, yeah, you also need to take care of Caden and Corgi going over, you know, their, 40% from their ultimates. DJ bringing out the Reaper right now to try and burn down Impressions and Q.
Yeah, it makes sense why they went ahead and just yeeted the Pulse Bomb in late. They're going to make a swap as the Nano Boost comes in on a Hypnotics. He's going to go in and beat down Chrono with it, but the Shatter comes through, finds 4, and going so the other way. Q is able to pick up a pair, and it has been an absolute bloodbath on the high grounds of Gardens. And Doragon emerge victorious as Impression gets the kill onto the counterpart Zarya.
Impressions just standing there tall, not a lick of health really gone off of their point or off of their health pool. And I'm worried right now. I think that, you know, once Carrot does invest this rally, I think you either bring out a Moira, you bring out a Mercy, bring out something to defend against the speed of Chrono.
Jedi and Molten Core coming out as both McCrees are taken down. Shatter comes through, is able to find a pair as the follow-up there. DJ's able to pick up 1, but it looks like the supports are still standing here for Doragon. Big ante onto the Lucio, but there's no follow-up, and Mudkip is going to fall, as does the overtime Wick. Doragon take round 1 and are 1 step closer to completing this reverse sweep.
But it's, once again, it's running the Winston into a Ryan Zarya. It's a compositional difference. I pointed this out a couple times tonight. You can't keep trying to force a composition that is not getting the value. And, you know, Hypnotics swapped over to the Rhine to try and defeat what Q and Impressions are bringing in. You can't run the Winston into that, not without the resources to put into it, not without the DPS to be able to support your dive targets. You're trying to run a hybrid dive brawl with the double bubble, and it's just not working out without the speed that you need to get on top of the players.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do that, you have to get some real penetration into the back line with the Winston and open up room for, I mean, be it the Reaper or the Tracer to get in and find those early picks. And now we're going to get the May Reaper brawl, a lot more straightforward from Ignition, just bowling over the opposition. Hypnotics finds 2. DJ comes up with 1 as well. Make that 2 for DJ. And Ignition will get first control on University.
Okay, and we talked about this earlier in the series, right? We talked about the tank difference and, you know, trying to force a composition that just isn't working. I'm not sure why they keep trying to run this double bubble into a Ryan Zarya, but they've lost it every single time. And now that they bring out this composition, they're absolutely getting the value into it.
Yeah, Hypnotics able to pick up another early kill based on a great May wall from Dark Matter with a little divide and conquer action. DJ coming in and is helping to finish off Q. And I think, I mean, they found some success. I wouldn't say that they never worked for him. I think that's a bit harsh. But I wouldn't mind seeing DJ, I mean, as amazing as DJ's Tracer has been all series, seeing that Reaper swap a little bit earlier with the double bubble composition. But hey, we're on Brawl. They're on final round here to try to make their stand as the Earth Shatter comes through the other way from both sides, as a matter of fact. It's Hypnotics and DJ finding the kills even through this Coalescence, Billy.
Dueling Coalescences, I mean, Jome right now, you know, getting the worst end of it. Giome, I'm horrible. I'm trying, but I mean, look at this. 50% and climbing. You're gonna have the Graviton Surge from Chunk right now available to you to stop the aggression coming in. You're gonna have Blizzard online pretty soon as well. Corgi swapping over to a Junkrat. That's gonna deal with the shielding, but you could also feed a lot into Chunk's ult charge.
As the Graviton Surge comes out, and it's in the back. They had to drop the Maywall to make sure there's no follow-up. There's a little bit of a disconnect there between Dark Matter and Chunky, and it results in them kind of splitting themselves up, and Ignition end up falling, but they do manage to pick up 79%.
I think that a concussion mine from Corgi launched Chunk up into the air, and that's where the error of the Graviton Surge happened.
Oh, and it just went flying too far?
Yep, I think he got boosted way up into the air, and they were not able to land it down where they wanted to put it.
That's gonna be the Blizzard coming up to start this fight. Bubbles there, and Impression's able to get out of harm's way. Shatter comes through from Q and hits Dark, as well as Hypnotics, and then Corgi is gonna find both DPS with one mine. And this Junkrat swap proving very dangerous for Ignition, and Corgi continues to rack up kills.
Yeah, I mean, almost 94% to their tire. That's going to be something that they're going to have to deal with. I mean, I think Chunk can get a couple of bubbles out. But what I'm really looking for is how does DJ get this Death Blossom online and get it deployed with all the spam damage coming in from Corgi?
It's going to be the Shatter, or excuse me, the Surge with the tire. And then here comes the Death Blossom. Death Blossom finds one, finds two! And that's going to be a third follow-up from DJ. And that's what we were looking for. It gets 4 before it's all said and done. And Ignition are going to flip this point. They still have Impressions to deal with on the Zarya. And DJ's down to about 50 health, but gets it back to the little vampire killing. Oh!
You just stick it down with it!
And the flip hasn't come through.
And it's not going to come through, especially not with that Molten Core coming through. The healing is not there. Munching Carrot goes down in a heap. Oh, this is not good looking good for Ignition. The ultimate coming out from the Toriarm player. Coalescence invested in this fight, trying to get the flip going.
It's a last chance, one last opportunity here for Ignition. They have got to win this fight if they want to keep or at least cement their way into the postseason. Overtime Wick is burning. Wall is going to keep Corgi alive. He's able to escape the hammer of Hypnotics. And the teams are just kind of standing off right now. Dark Matter falls to a nade. Somehow the healing comes through. Actually, it was the overload for Cade keeping them in this fight. Corgi's eventually going to fall, but here comes the Shatter. The Shatter might just do it. DJ had managed to pick up one, and we've got a 2v2 left on this point. But it's Q with this Reinhardt swinging with reckless abandon, trying to hammer their way into the postseason, but is forced back out. Does not want to deal with DJ on this Reaper. Dark Matter returns as the Death Blossom finds one. Q eventually taken down by the tornado warning of Hellfire shotguns.
Smart charge out from Q, letting Impressions come back onto the line or onto the point. Man, that was a touch and go situation from there right now. Last fight territory in hand right now. No ultimates ready to go for Ignition other than the Coalescence.
Oh no, DJ's down early. Oh, this is not good for Ignition. Corgi trying to seal the deal on the reverse sweep. Gets one with the tire. Corgi continues to pop off. Nearly lands the air shot. Will eventually take down Dark Matter with some help from Chrono. And Doragon look like they've done it. Corgi lands the mine on the Carrot. And they have all the momentum in the world. They've got the Molten Core. They've got the Coalescence. They've got the kill on the DJ. They've got the win. They will move to 7-2 as Doragon completes the reverse sweep, brings this thing all the way back, and have punched their tickets into the postseason. What a map. What a series. What a finish.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I don't know what else to say. Corgi, diff. Nobody can say anything else. Chat, be quiet. That's it. Corgi diff. I mean, good Lord. The impact of that player coming into Doragon's side. Giome on the support with the timely Coalescence. to keep the flagging members of Doragon up when all was hope was lost for them in that last fight. That was a huge coalescence that came out from them. Well played from both teams. I mean, good God, that was a hell of a series. But Doragon completes the reverse sweep, brings them to 7-2 on the season, ends their MTT 8 probably in third place. I think third place or second place. I'm
second
not
place.
sure.
I believe
Second place,
that solidifies
wow.
second place. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because they had the. It was a 4-way tie. So let's take a look at our standings. Let's take a look at our standings. It was a 4-way tie coming into week 9 for that second place slot, and Doragon and Ignition shared the top of that second place. I mean, it was second place as far as win-loss ratio, but Doragon and Ignition had the even tie as far as map differential, leading the pack. So with that win, it's going to move Doragon to 7-2 with a plus 16 map differential and solidify second place, which will, it ensures better seeding when it comes to postseason, and most importantly, guarantees them a spot in those playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean, if they stay at second place, if I remember what Headrammer put out there, it'll put, let's see, they're in Division 2, so they will go up against the third place team out of Division 3.
Correct.
So that will be their opponent going into the playoffs. Of course, we have a week off, and they will know soon, TM, what team they will play in what will be our first week of the playoffs, which will be the week of February the 8th.
Wow, what a series. One of the most exciting series I have seen all season long. Tip of the hat to both teams. Both play really well. Man, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say to that other than massive GGs to everybody all around. Corgi coming in on map 3, and, well, Doragon didn't lose a single map once Corgi came into the fray. So I think that, Corgi's got to get my MVP. Even though only played, 3 out of the 5 maps, Corgi's got to get my MVP just for the massive turnaround and the huge amount of impact they brought to the battlefield.
Said it coming out once they clinch their own University Corgi Diff. I stand by that Corgi Diff, my MVP as well. You and I usually don't agree on our MVP picks, but this time absolutely changed the entire tenor of the match, and what a performance from that player.
DJ, don't be sad. You had a wonderful series. Don't be sad. Don't give me frowny faces, DJ. You looked real good. You looked real good. And I'm hopeful we get to see y'all in playoffs. Hopefully we get to see these two teams face off against each other again. One of the best series, like I said, we've seen all season long. So don't give me those frowny faces, DJ. You did very well. You did very well. But at the end of the day, Doragon did win the series undoubtedly. And well, moving to 7-2. That's Ignition's fate no longer in their own hands. They are relying on either Bronwyn or Aurora to lose matches here in the back end of week 9. We're going to continue this storyline, I believe, tomorrow, where we will return with Aurora versus Behu and see if Behu can complete the upset. Behu coming in 2-6. I believe, going up against the 6-2 Aurora and looking to shatter the hopes and dreams of Aurora's postseason. Ignition right now, you're praying for Behu to win that fight. I mean, you've also got Team Lemonade and Bronwyn are playing or have played. You're praying for Team Lemonade to take it out against Bronwyn as well. So not all hope is lost for you out there, Ignition and fans of Ignition, but now you're relying on other teams to lose. So you better cross your fingers and, come back tomorrow, and we'll see what happens in the Aurora-Behu matchup.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be we'll start off our day tomorrow with a continuation of our Week 8 cast. Apollo 4 versus Tribulation Tier 4. We're going to start off with them at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then we will, depending on how long that goes, I'm anticipating 2 hours, so 8 p.m. Eastern, or I'm sorry, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will see Aurora versus Behu and see if they can, play upset makers and take out Aurora and get Ignition into the playoffs. But, whoo, this is what the last week of the MTT is all about. And I am very excited to see what we come up with tomorrow.
Indeed, indeed. To answer your questions, yes, Q, you looked very good in this series. You don't need to ask me that. You know you played well. And Disro, yes, grand finals of NEXT are tonight with Shanghai taking on Seoul. So I mean, I'll be in there watching that Navril stream. I highly recommend it if you're not going to be up. I know it's super late. I believe it's at 4 a.m. Central, 5 Eastern. So
Yep.
super late. I mean, I'm
Take a
a
nap.
I'm a hardcore DJ myself. I'll be there. So if you're there, I'll see you there. Otherwise, I highly recommend watching the VODs. It's been a wonderful insight into what the meta is looking like. They aren't on the newest patch. They're going to play on the patch prior to the Tracer and Zenyatta and Echo nerfs. So they're
Yep.
still on the last weekend's patch. But yes, to answer your question, will be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Tomorrow's matches are also going to be awesome. And we will see you back here starting at 6 Eastern. Until then, look out for each other in game and out. We'll see you tomorrow for more Overwatch.
Bye, guys. Love y'all.